Craig Steele here with ROKSTEDi, and today I wanted to go over our new 4-inch Picatinny rail design. We've updated from the old version to this newer version. Got a little bit of chamfer on the end, but the main difference is we added this sling stud hole on the bottom. So now you don't have to run a sling stud here. In this middle portion, you can essentially use this as your sling stud. You can still put a sling stud in there. You can also reverse this and essentially run it with this on towards your muzzle of your rifle. If you want a better balance point, you can also run your sling stud there in that slot. That's totally up to you. The one drawback to running the rail like this is your bipod needs to be a little bit wider if you're going to run a sling, because it will catch on the legs if the bipod legs are not wider. So let's grab an OG. You can see the OG versus the HK, the narrow leg set versus the OG. The OG is going to better perform with the rail upside down. Okay, so first thing for this to work on your rifle, basically kind of out of the package, is hardware. We don't include any spacers for your sling stud anymore. We include 3 sets of 10/32 butt head screws. They're 3 different lengths. Hopefully those will accommodate the depths in your rifle stock as far as the threading goes. When you pull out a sling stud out of your rifle, note whether it is fine thread or if it's like a coarse thread, like a wood lag screw. If it's a coarse thread, wood or lag screw, we would recommend like our quick pick or something like that, or taking your rifle stock off, putting in the appropriate threads, because what happened is it's probably a high production rifle or rifle stock. It's a cheaper made stock. They took some shortcuts. They didn't add any aluminum or metal threads, and we recommend taking your rifle stock off, putting a T-nut in, drilling your holes out, putting a T-nut in, epoxying those in. That way you have the appropriate threads. There's videos all over YouTube for that. We'll eventually do a YouTube video, but right now we don't have one up. Okay, so you're gonna need 2 holes, so 2 sling studs on the bottom of the fore end of your rifle for this to work on your rifle. And those spreads, the distance is gonna be, you can take a tape measure, a ruler, whatever. I just so happen to have calipers. It's gonna be 3 inches, that's the widest that this will fit, center to center, to all the way down to, let's see here, 1.5 inch. So 1.5 inch spread. The narrower your threads are spaced, the higher up you're going to be able to get this 4-inch rail. So your balance point is going to be, so let's say if it was 1.5, it's going to be 1.5 inches higher than this rifle stock is actually 3 inches. So this is actually going to sit lower, but because I want to utilize the full 4 inches of this rail, I'm not too worried about the balance point. Just counterbalance that with your hand or with your elbow, so that way the rifle doesn't tip back. So we're going to go ahead and install this. I've already pulled out the sling studs for time's sake, and the first thing I do is note, do my threads, or do my butt head screws thread end. The majority, or a large majority of rifle stocks go with 10/32 on their threading. There are some out there that are 10/24s. We don't provide those. We try to keep our costs down, which we pass on to you. But you can find those at a hardware store or online. You can contact us if you have any trouble, and we can assist you in hopefully finding the right size threads. Okay, so now you're going to check the thread depth. Here's one of the sling studs that I pulled out of this rifle stock. Occasionally rifle stock manufacturers and rifle manufacturers will, for whatever reason, offset these or make them different depths as far as the threading. So you might have to use 2 different lengths to install this Picatinny rail. But you can see here, this is about the right length. It's needs to be about 1/4 inch longer than what you are using to accommodate the material on the rail. So we're going to go with these 2 middle size or length button head screws. So before we install the button head screws in the rail, we're going to take our blue Loctite. I got a little catheter. Occasionally you don't see this because it gets blue. We use this in our product bipods to build them. But I'm going to dip a little bit of, or dab a little bit of blue Loctite on these threads. We prefer blue Loctite over red just because red is pretty much permanent and you run the risk of potentially stripping those threads out if you ever want to take this off. Or blue Loctite, I got blue Loctite in there. I'm going to take one of these button heads. Doesn't matter which order you go in, and I'm going to put it obviously in that bottom hole. I'm just going to make sure you don't cross thread this. It's threading in nicely. It's 10-30 seconds. We already checked that. And see if I can do this without being a jackass. And I just snug that up so the rail's not flopping all over me. Take my other one. The thread depth on this rifle stock on the individual holes is actually pretty much the same. Again, you want to make sure you're not cross threading. If you start to get any binding in there, you want to back that out because you don't want to strip those threads out. Okay. Now I'm going to torque this down just by feel. You can use a torque wrench in inch pounds. I would say 15 to 30 inch pounds. If you want to go safe and secure, go 30. If you want to make sure you don't strip that out, I'd go 15, as long as you got the blue Loctite. But as you can see, you can do it by feel too. Just don't gorilla tighten these up. And now my rail's on there. It's that simple. I can hook my sling to that. Got my sling there. You can see now that it's actually quite a bit down the stock as far as the sling purchase point here. You can run, again, you can run the sling stud in here if you want. If you have the appropriate length sling stud, you can flip this upside down again and run it this way. I like to utilize the entire surface area of the rail. The further you get that from your shoulder, as far as a bipod, the more stable you're gonna be. But if you have kids or if you have somebody that's shorter arm shooting your rifle, they might want it back here. It just gives you a lot of room, a lot of real estate to run your accessories on. And that's our new 4-inch rail design as of August 2025. So